Magyanatimirandasya Gyananjalashilakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Sva Padantikam Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Utaparakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpa Tarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So today we'll continue with the reading of Bhagavad-gīta as it is from S.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupāda, founder-ācārya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So we are doing chapter 1. Last time we were speaking about one of the reasons of Arjuna for not fighting. It was compassion, and today, but it was misplaced compassion. It was compassion for bodies, not for the souls. So today we look on the desire for enjoyment. Nacha shaknom nyavastatum brahmativa chame manaha nimitani cha pashyami viparitani keshava. Nanorcha also shaknomi. Am I able avastatum to stay brahmati, forgetting iva as cha and me my manaha mind nimitami causes cha also pashyami I see viparitani is just the opposite. Keshava, or killer of the demon, Keshi, Kṛṣṇa. Dog Kirtan outside. I'm unable to stand here any longer. I'm forgetting myself and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune, O Kṛṣṇa, killer of the Keshi demon. Purport: due to his impatience, Arjuna was unable to stay on the battlefield, and he was forgetting himself on account of this weakness of his mind. Excessive attachment for material things puts a man in such a bewildering condition of existence. Bhayandvitiya vinivesha taksyat, Bhagavatam 11.2.37. Such fearfulness and loss of mental equilibrium take place in persons who are too affected by material conditions. Arjuna envisioned only painful reverses in the battlefield. He would not be happy even by gaining victory over the foe. The words nimittani viparitani are significant. When a man sees only frustration in his expectations, he thinks, why am I here? Everyone is interested in himself and his own welfare. No one is interested in the Supreme Self. Arjuna is showing ignorance of his real self-interest by Krishna's will. One's real self-interest lies in Vishnu or Krishna. The conditioned soul forgets this and therefore suffers material pains. Arjuna thought that his victory in the battle would only be a cause of lamentation for him. Yes, so this is also a symptom of material consciousness, when there is lack of patience, and is because of passion mainly, because mode of passion is characterized that we want results immediately. Even we want first results, then even we want to, or this is the nature of mode of passion. We first want the results, and then we are even like paying for them afterwards. people who, for example, who take debts. So first they get some money and they are paying this debt. So they have to work afterwards to pay for what they got already. So in the same way, Arjuna was too much attached, and he was not seeing what is the long-term goal in this endeavor. But yes, this question why I'm here. So this is also the sign of impatience or a lack of understanding of long-term goals, because he doesn't see at this moment his higher goals. So that's why this question is there. And this is also a sign of selfishness, of course, that we don't see the higher purpose. We see only our immediate enjoyment or sense gratification. Unfortunately, it's very natural condition for the souls in the material world that by default we are not inclined to do something for others. Usually we are inclined to do something for ourselves. Like here Prabhupada means or mentions that one's real self-interest lies in Vishnu. So we should have this consciousness that I'm doing it for Vishnu or Krishna, not for myself. This is the division between these two types of consciousness, where our attention goes. And it needs, of course, some practice to think like that. It's not, at least if there is a lot of impiety in the person's life, he would not think like that by default. Usually pious people would have more this inclination to do something for others than for themselves. Okay, next one. Nacha Shreya Nupashyami Hatva Svajanam Ahave Nakankshe Vijayam Kṛṣṇa Nacha Rajyam Sukhani Cha Nanor Cha also Shreya good Anupashyami do I foresee Hatva by killing Svajanam own kinsman Ahave in the fight Nanor Kankshe do I desire Vijayam victory Kṛṣṇa or Kṛṣṇa Nanor Cha also Rajyam kingdom Sukhani happiness thereof Cha also. Translation: I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsman in this battle, nor can I, my dear Kṛṣṇa, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. Purport: without knowing that one's self-interest is in Vishnu or Kṛṣṇa, conditioned souls are attracted by bodily relationships, hoping to be happy in such situation. In such a blind conception of life, they forget even the causes of material happiness. Arjuna appears to have even forgotten the moral codes for a Kshatriya. It is said that two kinds of men, namely the Kshatriya who dies directly in front of the battlefield under Krishna's personal orders, and the person in the renounced order of life who is absolutely devoted to spiritual culture, are eligible to enter into the sun globe, which is so powerful and dazzling. Arjuna is reluctant even to kill his enemies, let alone his relatives. He thinks that by killing his kinsmen, there would be no happiness in his life, and therefore he is not willing to fight, just as a person who does not feel hunger is not inclined to cook. He has now decided to go into the forest and live a secluded life in frustration. But as a Kshatriya, he requires a kingdom for his subsistence, because the Kshatriyas cannot engage themselves in any other occupation. But Arjuna has no kingdom. Arjuna's sole opportunity for gaining a kingdom lies in fighting with his cousins and brothers and reclaiming the kingdom inherited from his father, which he does not like to do. Therefore, he considers himself fit to go to the forest to live a secluded life of frustration. Okay. Yes, so again, same same thing is repeating. He's only seeing his immediate happiness. And since he doesn't see this immediate happiness, he is not willing to fight. He's not willing to do this sacrifice. But especially for Kshatriyas, this is the Varna when it starts to be about the duty, because Vaishyas and Shudras, they still have motivation for themselves because the mode of ignorance is prominent there. But Kshatriyas should not have any ignorance. They are most in passion. Some goodness is there also. So on this level, there is the first point when basically they can think in Dharma, in the Dharmic consciousness, and it means about the duty. It's not about the results or our benefit, but what is our duty. So this is the thinking of Kshatriya. He's not doing it for his own purpose. He just wants to have things properly and to have everything right and according to the law and according to the scripture. So this is Kshatriya's motivation. Like higher good, the same like Brahmanas. Brahmanas also think of the higher good, but Kshatriyas are able also to execute it. Brahmanas don't have this passion to go into the field and I mean field, go into the reality or real, not like how to describe it. Go into the society and implement these changes there. Brahmanas are only in the position of advising for Kshatriyas, but those two basically are very, very close to each other. So Kshatriyas, for sure, they need Brahmana on their side who would give them guidance. Otherwise, Kshatriya can also go astray without this guidance. So the guidance is necessary there. But mostly they are almost the same, like in qualities. But Kshatriya is more into action and Brahmana is more aside. He's more about leading from behind, not directly in the society. And of course, Kshatriyas need something to rule. Even they asked Duryodhana for 5 villages, and Duryodhana said that he will not give them even the place where to put the pin of a needle, or what was that? Of those, yes, something like that, he said. So he was not able to give them even the 5 villages, small villages, for them to rule. So only opportunity for them now is to go into this war and gain this kingdom by fighting. Otherwise, they cannot do properly their duties, their dharma, engage their nature. They would not have any space for that otherwise. The same thing sometimes in our lives, we have to prepare also environment. We have to make some extra endeavor if we want to engage our nature, to prepare environment for us, to do some extra effort to get this. Same way like for them, the kingdom is the place. So there might be some more complicated projects we are working on, which needs this preparation, some effort in the beginning. Then we can engage our nature. And this is basically, this applies for those 3 higher varnas, because all of them are leaders. All of them are able to engage others in their service. So they are about making this environment. Brahmana also is, if Brahmana comes to some place, he will start to preach there, and he will prepare this environment that the consciousness is proper. And then Kshatriya comes, and when people understand what's going on, he can guide them, like directly interacting with them, and then they follow and implement this society in this place. according to the Brahmanas' advice. And also Vaishyas will come and do their own independent business. So all these three Varnas are able to act independently. And Shudras, of course, they will serve them. If they are taken care of, they're okay with that, and they will assist all of these three Varnas. So all of these three Varnas are able of making this environment first, and then engage others also. 32 to 35. Kim no rajyena govinda kim bhogar jivitena va yesha marte kangshitam no rajyam bhogak sukhani cha ta imeva stita yudhe pranam styaktva dhanani cha acharya pitara putras tataiva cha pitamahaha matulashva shurak pautrah shyala sambandhinas tata etanna hantum ichchami gananto pimadhutsudana apitrailokya rajyasya eto kimnu mahi krite nihatyan dhartarashtranah kapritih syach janardana. Kim what use naha to us? Rajena is the kingdom, Govinda of Krishna. Kim what? Bhogai, enjoyment. Jivitena, living. Va, either. Yesham, of whom. Arte, for the sake. Kangshitam is desired. Naha, by us. Rajyam, kingdom. Bhogaha, material enjoyment. Sukhani, all happiness. Cha, also. Te, all of them. Ime, this avastitaha, situated. Yudhe, on this battlefield. Pranan, lives. Tyaktva, giving up. Dhanani, riches. Cha, also. Acharyaha, teachers. Pitaraha, fathers. Putraha, sons. Tata, as well as. Eva, certainly. Cha, also. Pitamahaha, grandfathers. Matulaha, maternal uncles. Shvashuraha, fathers-in-law. Potraha, grandsons. Shyalaha, brothers-in-law. Sambandhinaha, relatives. Tata, as well as. Etan, all these, na never hantum, to kill. Ichami, do I wish. Ganataha, being killed. Api, even. Madhusudana, O killer of the demon Madhu. Kṛṣṇa, Api, even if. Trilokya, of the three worlds. Rajyasya, for the kingdom. Hetoho, in exchange. Kimnu, what to speak of. Mahikrite, for the sake of earth. Nihatya, by killing. Dhartarashtran, the sons of Dhartarashtra. Naha, our ka, what. Pritihi, pleasure. Syat, will there be. Janardana, a maintainer of all living entities. Translation. O Govinda, of whatever to us are a kingdom, happiness, or even life itself, when all those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield. O Madhusudana, when teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, fathers-in-law, grandsons, brothers-in-law, and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me, why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? O maintainer of all living entities, I am not prepared to fight with them even in exchange for the three worlds, let alone this earth. What pleasure will we derive from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? Purport. Arjuna has addressed Lord Krishna as Govinda, because Krishna is the object of all pleasures for cows and the senses. By using this significant word, Arjuna indicates that Krishna should understand what will satisfy Arjuna's senses. But Govinda is not meant for satisfying our senses. If it tries to satisfy the senses of Govinda, however, then automatically our own senses are satisfied. Materially, everyone wants to satisfy his senses, and he wants God to be the order supplier for such satisfaction. The Lord will satisfy the senses of the living entities as much as they deserve, but not to the extent that they may covet. But when one takes the opposite way, namely when one tries to satisfy the senses of Govinda without desiring to satisfy one's own senses, then by the grace of Govinda, all desires of the living entity are satisfied. Arjuna's deep affection for community and family members is exhibited here partly due to his natural compassion for them. He is therefore not prepared to fight. Everyone wants to show his opulence to friends and relatives, but Arjuna fears that all his relatives and friends will be killed on the battlefield, and he will be unable to share his opulence after victory. This is a typical calculation of material life. The transcendental life, however, is different. Since the devotee wants to satisfy the desires of the Lord, he can, Lord willing, accept all kinds of opulence for the service of the Lord. And if the Lord is not willing, he should not accept the farthing. Arjuna did not want to kill his relatives, and if there were any need to kill them, he desired that Kṛṣṇa kill them personally. At this point, he did not know that Kṛṣṇa had already killed them before their coming into the battlefield, and that he was only to become an instrument for Kṛṣṇa. This fact is disclosed in following chapters. As a natural devotee of the Lord, Arjuna did not like to retaliate against the miscreant cousins and brothers, but it was the Lord's plan that they should all be killed. The devotee of the Lord does not retaliate against the wrongdoer, but the Lord does not tolerate any mischief done to the devotee by the miscreants. The Lord can excuse a person on his own account, but he excuses no one who has done harm to his devotees. Therefore, the Lord was determined to kill the miscreants, although Arjuna wanted to excuse them. So, first thing here is that this might be also very common mentality, that we think that God is here for fulfilling our desires. Like here is mentioned, his Govinda means object of all pleasures for cows and senses. But Srila Prabhupada says that Kṛṣṇa is not, his purpose is not to satisfy our senses. On the contrary, we are here to satisfy Kṛṣṇa's senses. And in this way also, because there is an example of watering the root of the tree, that if we water the root of the tree, so also the leaves will get the nourishment, will get this water. But if we water just the leaves, and water will not come to the roots, so the whole tree will die. Of course, Kṛṣṇa will not die, but but this example just shows that it doesn't have any sense, because Kṛṣṇa on his own is independent, but it's just matters whether he will give us this reciprocation or not. So if we offer him something, he will also reciprocate with us. So it's up to us whether he want to deal with him or not. Of course, our natural position is to give pleasure to the Supreme Lord. And if we don't do it, then we are not satisfied also, because this satisfaction comes from this interaction, and Kṛṣṇa is the source of this satisfaction. Yeah, also here that his idea was that he would like to share this opulence with his friends and relatives. So again, this is the selfish motive there, that he wants to show off something to others. But the mentality of devotee is not to point the attention on himself, that he has some opulence, but he's trying to fulfill desires of the Lord. And whether Lord gives him some opulence or not, devotee is still serving. If Lord is giving some opulence, then devotee is using it. If not giving, that's of course he's serving with what he already has, because still we have something. Even if we don't have anything, still we have our minds, so we can still think of Kṛṣṇa, we can still chant, we can still remember or hear. So still there is some opportunity for service. And if we have also, of course, opulences, so we can use more things in his service. And yes, Arjuna did not want to kill them, but anyway, Kṛṣṇa already planned that they will be removed, these demoniac miscreant cousins, and brothers of Duryodhana. So the same thing for the devotee is just if Krishna has some plan, like for example, Lord Chaitanya has a plan to spread chanting of the holy name to every town and village. So it's just up to us. It is already destined like this, that it will happen. So either we take this opportunity or we don't take it, somebody will do it because it's the Lord's desire and it will happen for sure. So it's up to us whether we want this credit or we can give it to some other persons. But there is no way that these things would not happen, even if Krishna would do it himself. So, so he's giving us these opportunities for service. We have these blessings, so it's up to us whether we take them or not. And in Kali Yuga, these blessings are very simple, just chanting and preaching. Yes. How Krishna's senses can be satisfied, how we know he is satisfied. Usually we will be satisfied, and also if we have some authorities, they will tell us that, or we will see that they are happy with our service, like our guru or our service authorities and devotees which we are cooperating with. So this can be one source, and also our own satisfaction will be there when Krishna is satisfied. Very simple example, if we are cooking something for Krishna and then we take this prasadam, sometimes even if we don't take, we already feel satisfied. Even I had such experience when I was serving prasadam to devotees. So I did my best, and even while serving, I felt satisfaction, and then I came to eat this prasadam at the end, and I really felt that, okay, I will eat it because my body needs it, but the satisfaction was already there. So I was not doing it for this purpose, but just to give something to my body. It was more like a habit. So yeah, in this way we can see our own satisfaction because we are connected to Krishna. So he's reciprocating with us in this way. Is okay like that? Yes, and the last thing here is if somebody is doing some mischief to the Lord's devotees, the Lord does not tolerate this at all. If somebody is, let's say, offending the Lord himself, he doesn't care much about it. Like in the case of Shishupal, he offended Lord more than 100 times. So then, of course, Lord took his Sudarshan chakra and killed him. But usually, Lord is very tolerant towards offending himself, but he's not at all tolerant when it comes to his devotees. When somebody offends his devotees, so that person must seek the forgiveness from that devotee. Like it was the case of Maharaj Ambarish, and what was the name of the sage who offended Maharaj Ambarish? So this sage was Durvasa Muni, yes. So this sage was chased by Lord Sudarshan Chakra because he offended Maharaj Ambarish. And he came to Lord Vishnu and was asking for forgiveness. And Lord Vishnu told him that I cannot stop my Sudarshan because you offended my devotee. So unless you ask for forgiveness from my devotee, I cannot do myself anything. So in this way, he had to come to Maharaj Ambarish and ask for forgiveness. So But one is offending the devotees, especially the preachers who are spreading the Krishna consciousness. This is the most severe offense. So the only way is to pray to the devotee that he excuses us for our offenses. And that's also why Lord was so much determined to kill these miscreants, because they offended his devotees. They offended Draupadi, Pandava's wife. And also Duryodhana tried to kill Pandavas many times. So that's why Lord was not excusing this behavior. Okay. That's it for today. Next time, yes, fear from sinful reactions. Okay. Is there any more question or a comment? Devotees, those who are serving in temple, doing karma for Krishna, yes, he is satisfied. But those who are working outside, if someone is working outside, still he can offer part of the fruits for Lord's service, for preaching purposes. Also, we can have our own altar at home. We can offer food to the Lord. And also, if we are working and getting some facilities, so we can think how to offer it in the service, how to utilize it, whether it is money or time or whatever we have. We can offer these things. Or even if we are in some institution, we can think of also preaching there in this place, or wherever we move. Like usually when I go somewhere, especially in Europe, I do this. I dress like I usually dress anywhere. And whoever I meet, whether I meet some real estate agents or lawyers, they are asking. So I go to the bank, so I'm taking with books with me, or I can spread Krishna consciousness in some way. So in this way, all the time we have some opportunities how to serve the Lord, especially in the preaching mission. In working sectors, politics going on. I'm not sure what does it mean exactly. Of course, some environments may be a little difficult to deal with, especially if there is some strong ethics in some companies or institutions. Let's say if there is academics, or it's difficult, for example, to preach amongst the scientists, because immediately person is yes, I understand, yes. Those very materialistic environments, I understand that it is difficult to preach there, but still we can take, let's say, we can make some sweet at home, offer it to the Lord, and share with our colleagues. It's very, like, everyone, I think, will accept this. What I also do, if sometimes I participate, if I'm in Europe and there is some family gathering, I take prasadam from the temple, some sweets. I ask them, can you make some ladus or whatever? So I bring them with me, and everybody is happy to accept sweets. They are not happy to hear about Krishna consciousness, but if I bring prasadam, hardly anyone is refusing. There are also some people like that, but it's very, very minimum. So yes, prasad. is the another option, and very, very effective option. So yeah, like this. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai, Śrīmad Bhagavad-gītā ki jai.